Back with Bobby and JJ. Well, actually, it's Your Neighborhoodz Radio. Our co-host, Mr. Spencer Hamilton and Daniel King, talking about their awesome company and how they're helping real estate agents all over San Antonio as kind of like an extension of our team. Obviously, we have a team. We have someone in our office that does contracts. We have someone in our office that does marketing. And then you guys are not in our office, but you're an extension of our team that goes and helps consult our clients for us, because you fill a gap that we really don't have the expertise on,
or waste time on,
which is probably the most important thing.
Exactly.
While I could be negotiating, showing properties, being in listing appointments, or calling,
or taking you to lunch.
Instead, I'm looking at inspection reports. Now, Bob, we do over 100 transactions residential a year. How much of your time has been wasted on inspection reports and talking people from the ledge, and sitting down with the wife and the husband and trying to make them figure out how the inspection reports are just for the most part educational.
So, every buyer is going to do an inspection, and every inspection is scary. They're all set up to just tell you the bad things. It's not good and bad. It's just bad.
Right.
And some of these are like $2-3 fixes.
That's true. No one says like beautiful wall.
Yeah.
Right,
No, it's all bad. It's like the news. So
this is a news talk station, Bob.
It's like the news. So
Gotcha.
it's all bad. So when there's $2-3 fixes and then there's 100 of them, it makes it look like the house is falling apart. So I'm constantly like, okay, this is really not a big deal, but it would mean a lot more if it's coming from a general contractor.
Well, 80% of an inspection report is like, when this house was built, you didn't even need an expansion tank on your water heater. And now if you did a new water heater, it would require an expansion tank. Doesn't mean that your children are going to burn in the middle of the night because you don't have an expansion tank. Absolutely not.
That's the perfect example. And that's where, I tell people, look, you're going to get an inspection, and I kind of coach them on the front end. You're going to get 40 pages, and it's going to say all this and that, and you ask the inspector, what would you have me do? And he's got no reason to tell you anything.
Well, he can't.
Exactly.
It's all liability.
Can't.
Yeah, he can't. All he does is cover himself, right?
Exactly. And he's already been paid, so why is he going to give you any kind of advice that's going to save you money? He's like, there's my report, read it, is basically what he says. And then what I've heard back from real estate agents is that when they tell them this isn't a big deal, it comes off as salesy. Oh, yeah, you just want me to close on the property.
Right. So if Bobby, even though he's seen hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of inspection reports, and he knows what looks ridiculously scary and what doesn't, when Bobby says it sounds like someone that's trying to push the deal through.
Exactly.
Or even trying to get two real estate agents to kind of come to an agreement of what's serious or what's not is nearly impossible, right? But this is where you guys step in.
What I found is that people typically call a third party.
Right.
They're going to call their uncle. They're going to call their, Tio Laredo that lives there, or whoever, their dad. They're going to call somebody, and they're going to say, what should I do? Right. And that's fine, except for what kind of context can that person put as far as real estate on what needs to be done. They're just going to be thinking in a perfect world. What I want to do is go in there, and I want to be dad. I want to explain to them, listen, it's intrinsic to what we're doing here that we're not going to oversell anything, because that's going to probably kill deals for you, and you're really my customer as a real estate agent.
Right.
If I say nothing it needs to be done, well, then why am I even here? Because I'm not going to make any money. So it kind of makes sense for me to come in and say, these are the things. This is when that code changed where you have to have an expansion tank. Before 2008, you didn't have to have this as far as arc fault protection. I'm going to educate them and walk them through the 35-page report that they get and make sure that they understand not only what I recommend to do, but why I do or don't recommend to do it.
Sure. And you'll know the high-ticket items. You know the ones that can be pushed and kicked down the road.
Exactly.
You know the ones that if they don't do it now, it's going to be serious trouble.
Here are the things that are going to mitigate further damage to your house, like a roof or something. Your insurance is going to require that you take care of it. Right.
Wood rot.
And here's something that totally doesn't matter, that was completely fine and nobody killed themselves, up until 2007.
Right.
It's just a redundant feature now where you have to have X, Y, and Z. So I can talk them through that and explain that to them.
So, and it's kind of a good cop, bad cop thing. Like we also don't want to have to tell people what to do or not do, because it also, falls back on us, not only liability wise, but me and Bobby, we don't do what you do. We don't do renovations to houses. We don't know how serious this fascia board could or could not be. We have no clue. But this is what you guys see every single day. And
Correct.
So it's just, you're a better expert to be talking to them.
And it keeps you 100% out. They come to us first.
But here's some things that I hear a lot. And this is what I like about you guys, and it makes total sense. A lot of agents are like, well, when are you gonna go out there and check it out?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me why that doesn't. Tell me why that doesn't make sense.
Because I'm an idiot if I'm just driving around town all day just to look at inspection reports. I'm not making any money, and I'm not smart enough to be your contractor. What I would say is inspections are very thorough. That's why people get scared, because there are 50 pages of pictures and all kinds of descriptions. Anyone worth their salt should be able to give at least a range within 10% by just looking at the inspection report. So all day long, I tell people, just send me the inspection report, and I will get you a number within 24 hours of you sending me the inspection report.
You, from your office desk, you can look at inspection reports all day and say, like, I know this is going to cost about this. I know this is going to cost about that. Because inspection report is the best bid ever, right? It's like someone that went out there, took pictures for you, you had a description of what was wrong.
It's literally better than an insurance paperwork, which is kind of the gold standard of already having the bid together for you. It shows you everything except for the money.
So if you had a group of agents that just sent to you their inspection reports, with obviously their buyer's permission, because the buyers are the ones that purchased them, you would just be a completely huge asset as far as time, expertise, and you'd make the agent look really good.
Again, be an extension of your service without being an extension of your time and keeping you in the loop. That's what we aim to do.
And you can, it's easier to negotiate, right, Bob? If someone said, instead of saying like, we want you to do the wood rot and the siding and the fascia and the roof, if it says like, we want you to do all this, and by the way, we kind of know exactly how much it's going to be.
Yeah, because they don't know what it costs. Like us, we don't know what it's going to cost. They see something's wrong, they're going to think it's thousands of dollars. I mean, anytime I see carpet have to replace, I always think, oh, it's $10,000.
Oh yeah,
it's not. It's really not that expensive.
And here's the thing: even if it gets expensive,
at least you know.
We're willing to get paid at closing if you're outside of your option period.
So this is what's crazy, and this is what, Bob, you got to know, like, how many people will get paid a portion or half or even anything at closing. Most construction companies, because they're just living paycheck to paycheck, they can't go and pay laborers and have people go out and knock stuff out because they need their money up front.
Not only that, a lot of sellers don't have money to do all these repairs. So
right.
A lot of them tell me like, hey, give me time, I'm saving up some money, I need to do these repairs. Well, you don't have to
use the equity in your home and pay at closing.
Yeah. They don't mind doing it. They just don't have it in their pocket right now. And they have moving expenses, and they have movers, and they have all these other costs. And they're probably buying another house. They have to put a down payment up front. So the last thing that sellers have is like an extra couple of grand to do all these honeydews that did show up on the inspection report. But you guys will actually take a small portion, or like 25% of the total cost, and then you will do the work, and then you're going to be a line item at the title company when it closes.
Correct, and that allows them to use the equity in their home instead of using money that they have in the bank. And it's kind of, like poker chips. It's imaginary money to them, so it makes it a lot easier for you to negotiate because all of a sudden they're not digging in their bank account to get the money that needs to be done. It makes it easier for you to negotiate because they're like, well, I'm just paying with equity. That's imaginary money anyway.
So as an agent, I can say, this is what's wrong, this is how much it costs, and by the way, they'll get paid at closing. I mean, who says no?
Nobody.
All right, so how can they get a hold of you to send you these inspection reports?
They can call the office at 210-262-2678. Or they can get a hold of us at yourneighborhoodz.com. That's Your Neighborhoodz with a Z.